Well, Rob and Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. So grateful that you've given up some time to chat about Sabbath. And for anybody who doesn't know you, would you mind just taking a moment just to introduce yourselves and a little bit about who you are, family life, work life, and all of that?
No problem. My name is Charlotte Lewis, married to Rob
I'm
for
Rob.
the last 11 years or so. I'm originally from Crumlin. Rob is from McGabry, and we now live in Kilcavey with our 4 children. Joseph is 5, Teddy is 3, Sophie and Rebecca are 1. I kind of predominantly look after the 4 kids. Rob is a very helpful wingman in that, especially at the minute. And Rob leads a software company which seeks to build a platform to visualize interior design. Is that?
It's a good explanation, Charlotte.
Does that describe it well? And as best I can, I try to support him in that. Usually a couple of days a week. At the minute, I'm doing a bit of homeschooling, and where I can, a couple of evenings a week, I'm
trying to do a bit of work. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. How is lockdown life going for you guys right now?
How is lockdown life?
I think it's fair to say that every day is a opportunity to learn, and we're learning a lot more about ourselves, about our children, about our marriage. Certainly the first couple of weeks were pretty tough, and then we found a little bit more of a groove, and I think we're probably just appreciating the fact that our children are at a stage where they absolutely adore that one-on-one attention. And I think the thing that we're appreciating as well is how much they flourish with that. So we're thankful for that. It's tough, but we're finding, I suppose, we're finding hope in the midst of that, and we're seeing growth within our kids. And I think, although I'm described as Charlotte's wingman, I think we're growing in our partnership as well.
Brilliant. Let's talk about Sabbath. So we consider Sabbath to be one of God's best gifts. We define it as a day that's set apart from all of the other days for us to really enjoy 3 things: rest, worship, and delight. What does a Sabbath look like for you guys?
Would you like to take that, or will I, Charlotte?
You go for it and I'll amend it.
Revise it and improve it. Yeah.
You take the first draft.
Yeah. So I think for us, we've probably been challenged by this more in the last number of months. We've read a book called Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, and it really elevates the Sabbath and kind of gets down to the roots of
the command
of what we're created for and how we're not meant to go at it flat out 6 days a week. But I think that's challenged us to get into the detail and to plan more for the Sabbath so it is restful. And being quite honest, because we're pretty much 100% in from a family, from a mission, from a work perspective, we've realized more that we absolutely need Sabbath, particularly in this environment, or we just conk out and we get a bit angry and so on and so forth. So I suppose Sabbath from our perspective starts on a Saturday evening. We run the guys hard and we invest heavily into the kids during the day so that we can get them to bed early, about 7 o'clock. Then for us, Saturday night is about just not having very much on. We might catch up with a few friends, but normally recently it's just a night to cook some food and just to really slow down.
You treat it as a bit of a date to start off the Sabbath.
Yeah, and they try to
and
do
it
the simple
feels
things.
Noticeably different in terms of we kind of very much say like we're off duty now, so to speak. Yeah,
and then I suppose we found that then going into Sunday, we often chat just briefly before we go to sleep on a Saturday night about who's going to get the lie-in on the Sunday, which is a lie-in to about 8:15, whereas the other person's up about 7:15, you know. But we have a bit of a chat about that. And then Sunday for us it's a pretty consistent routine of up. One of us gets a bit of a lie in, but we have a very relaxed breakfast. There's no rush in. We put on some tunes and we just enjoy a bit of time together as a little crew. And then we normally try to get out for a walk before church, which is always a little bit funny these days because sometimes we go to Hillsborough Park and they don't have the two gates open. So when you've got the twins and you're doing the Iggy shuffle through a little narrow gate, that's a bit of our crack.
It's like the Eye of the Needle and the Kingdom of Heaven. Our family through that small gate.
And we've got chased by swans and ducks recently. But I think we found that cool because even just not, having any time skills really around that, except for trying to get back for the 10:30 service, trying to be on time for that.
That's good. That's good.
But so that's good. We get back, we have a bit of a snack, we do the service. And really for us, a big part of Sundays as parents is everybody goes to their rooms at about 2:00, from 2 to 4:30. The kids either take a nap or they read, and everybody switches off. And we get to 7:00 on a Sunday evening. All the kids are in bed, 7, 7:30. We've maybe done a bit of a movie before that. I suppose our whole challenge is not to rush anything and just to enjoy each other. And we try to switch off the phones where possible. We don't look at news or anything like that because often that's not life promoting. And we just try to get to know each other more. And then come Sunday evening, I think a big part of our time now is prepping for the week and prepping for the next Sabbath and sort of taking time in prayer.
Yeah, Sunday night has always been a time that even before kind of lockdown, we would have always taken it that you'd have done your diary and stuff for the week, and then we'd have prayed as a husband and wife. We've done that kind of all throughout our marriage on a Sunday night. We just set that as a routine for the week. Now I think more than ever it is very much a preparing night, and even for me with homeschool and stuff, it's like if I don't do that, then you're not set up for the week.
Probably a core thing though is that we're probably learning that Sabbath is about what you really want to do, not about what you have to do.
Yeah.
And for example, if there are things that you have to do, whether it's like different wider commitments with maybe church or family, I think then we probably try to rotate Saturday into Sunday.
Yeah, we try
and
to
do a bit
less
less structured stuff on a Saturday. So I suppose it's just trying to protect that time. And it's cool because the boys particularly, they look at Sunday now more and more and they're like, it's chill time, it's rest time, let's go. We don't do very much. And
there's certainly lots of little treats for them in the midst of it, because we are relaxed and open to treats and nice food and movies and
So and I suppose the random thing is that COVID-19 probably provides a bit less distraction in relation to Sabbath and makes you feel a bit less weird when you are like prepping up on a Sunday evening so you can get a good start to the week and trying to be as detail oriented about that. Yeah. And that's probably one of our best times of peaceful reflection and conversation together in a sense as well. So
I think there's a real opportunity right now for people to feel this out for themselves, to begin to practice this. And then whenever it's realizing that Sabbath isn't just a lockdown practice, but a lifelong practice that we're able to weave in and allow it to become a ritual. It sounds so good that particularly for your kids that they're looking forward to Sabbath. Whereas I think for some of us who have maybe grown up through church, our understanding of Sabbath has been really refined to things that we can't do on this certain day. Whereas for your kids and for your family, it's looking ahead to the day whenever we're able to do some of the things that we love, that we find rest in. You've touched on some of this already, but I just would love to ask you, why has this rhythm become so valuable for you, both for you individually in your marriage and also for the life of your family and your kids?
Yeah, well, Rob has touched on it, but I think, Stu, to be really honest, the best way I can put it is the margins feel very tight for us as a family. Over the last yeah, since we went from 2 to 4 children, and Rob's work life hasn't slowed down any over the last couple of years, it requires more and more input. The margins are tight, and so we just realised that we needed to get better at the rest thing. And Rob has said, we read a book at the start of this year, we both read it, and we were just so taken aback by this revelation that, you know, there's not very much that Jesus commands us to do, but he's commanded us to rest, and God needed to rest, and saw that as a rhythm in creation. And yeah, it's something, to be honest, since we got married, it's something that we've always we've incorporated it in a way, certainly where Sundays have been slower, but I think the mindset on it has changed in terms of, wow, this is a real treat that we are being offered. And let's, like, you know, conversely, let's be selfish about it and really enjoy it. And I think it talks about in the book Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, it says that it's the thing that when you are, you know, really tight into your Tuesday and everyone's getting at you and you've 20 things to do, you have that promise of the break in a few days. And that's much healthier than what we have done probably early on in our marriage and in our kind of 20s, was go, 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 and I really need that holiday. And it's kind of spacing out your holiday a good bit better throughout the year. That's certainly how we started to look at it. I think that's probably the best I can put it. It's the promise of it, the promise of the rest. And I think I've kind of, on social media and stuff, and I've heard a couple of people saying, like, oh, you know, the weekend doesn't really feel like the weekend whenever you're like in lockdown. And it feels markedly so different to us. It really does for me. And I don't know if that's because Rob's still working hard during the week. So for me, maybe it's the fact that he's off. But I think we do different things. Our routines in terms of the kids and their meal times and stuff are all very similar, but our mindset, I find, is different. And like, it's small things too that I think, little bits of wisdom that, like, and we've so much more to learn and lots of ways to make it better and to kind of grow as the children's like needs change. But it's small things. Like, I remember when we first started coming to LVV and we went to Tribe at Matt and Kerry's house, and I remember Kerry saying, you know, I decided that I wasn't going to do laundry on a Sunday, and you know, she has 3 small kids, and I heard that and was like, that is such a good idea, because even if it's waiting for me on Monday, well, who cares? So yeah, or if I need to get it all done on Friday and Saturday, to know that I'm off on Sunday. So small things like that are important. Another thing for me is, like, I'm cooking a lot in lockdown life. 6 of us, 3 meals a day. To be fair, Rob handles breakfast, but
it has taken me 9 weeks to get good at the bar.
So I generally still cook on a Sunday, but it's different because I always do a meal that I really like cooking. And the difference is too that Rob is there and he's like entertaining the kids, and I say, like, I'm going to cook now, i.e. I'm going to enjoy my cooking now. So that's different. So it's all these kind of little changes to our mindset have really helped us. But I think it's because we've really needed it.
Brilliant. It's so helpful. If there was one piece of advice for a family, particularly a family of younger kids, you're thinking, okay, we want to begin to stitch Sabbath into the fabric of our rhythm as a family, what would be a really good place for them to start? What would be one of your kind of first pieces of advice for them?
So to me, the kind of, I felt like it was a revelation, like the gem was when we decided, I think it was kind of December, January time, so still relatively recently, but we were just like, we have 4 small children, they will have all their needs still on a Sunday, so we can't just switch off from them. So in our season of life, because there is a lot of output and stretch all week long, we need to make our Sabbath 50% longer. So we're going to start, we're going to really try and start from Saturday lunchtime to be starting to wind down. And that has really helped me.
I think planning a little bit and talking about what the plan is on a Saturday morning and getting buy-in and kind of going, it's breakfast time, amazing, chatting a bit about the week, but going, right guys, what would you love to do today? What would you love to do tomorrow? So that you get all the kind of, for example, we always try to exercise on a Saturday where at all possible. And if we do a bit of exercise on a Sunday, it's because we really want to do it. Yes. Whereas on a Saturday, we do it because we know we should be doing it to blow out the cobwebs.
Yeah, it's our time. But you're not working, so we have a bit more flexibility to support each other to do that.
But I think certainly with the kids, it's trying to get the stuff that they really want to do in on the Saturday and trying to do that in a measured way. And like randomly, even if you think you can do like 6 things on a Saturday and you only get to do 4, but we're all bought in and we're all passionate about doing it together and getting to know each other more. I think that's what it's about. It's about the intentionality and about
and if you've any
being a little bit more
chores
organized
to do, then you've kind of done it on a Saturday. So if you've food to go and buy, and it's not like that we're at all legalistic that we don't do those things on a Sunday. It's just we couldn't really be bothered to do them on the Sunday. We prefer to get it out of the way and
off the phones. Like I do love my little podcasts, HBR, Elevation sometimes, and LVV.
Nice.
But a lot of little economics podcasts, etc. Charlotte really doesn't get that and thinks I'm a bit weird. And I could be listening to that on a Sunday, but I shouldn't. Because then
I'll just know then because they'll start talking about
whether it's blogs, whatever. It's just switching off the screens, massive, and reading, and just doing stuff that doesn't buzz the mind. And even for me, preparing on a Saturday, like it takes me. I'm normally up early on a Saturday because I need to switch off from the week or try to begin that process of switching off, which normally takes me until about Saturday night. And I normally do a bit of work on a Saturday for about an hour and a half to get kind of properly closed off. So then I can relax on a Sunday. So again, I think it depends on your situation. It depends on how you're wired. But trying to just prepare as much to switch off is a part of it. And also just looking forward to getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And getting to know God a little bit more of what we're created for.
I think there's something really lovely that's helped me in terms of thankfulness levels of when you stop, and everyone always says all the time, like all these people whose families have grown up like, oh, the years go so quickly and if I could turn back the clock, and like sometimes you hear that and you're like, but there's like hard graft in this season. But those little nuggets of like, for me, going for a walk on a Sunday morning, and like there's so often, and we go for walks other times in the week, especially at the minute in lockdown, because that's one thing that you can do. But on a Sunday when I'm a bit slower and my mind is a bit more switched off, they're the times that I really smile and really laugh with my kids. And I do think, wow, this is the season you have me in, God, and this is very special. And there's a real refueling and a refilling in those moments that I don't randomly get the rest of the week, because the rest of the week I'm thinking what we need to get back for and what we need to do. And so that the thankfulness of the season that you're in is definitely one of the reasons why I think it's kind of crucial to try to implement it as a young family, or we're finding that it's crucial for us.
Brilliant. There's so much gold in there. Thank you both so much for taking some time out to really unpack for us just how valuable Sabbath is and what it looks like for us to weave it into our lives. Hope you both have a great Sabbath this weekend. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Bye.
Cheers, Stuart.